Hi there! So I wanted to tell you guys that I am super excited about something, and it's gonna seem really stupid probably to you, but I'm super excited about it. So yesterday, I had my very first voice lesson in 17 years. It has been way too long, and I've been dying to take singing lessons again for a while to sort of pick up where I left off and continue studying. And it just hasn't been something that I've been able to make a priority in my life. So in these past 17 years, the first few years I was gigging actively with my band, and the last 2.5 years of that time I spent leading worship at the largest church in New England. And then I started my family. And for the past 10, 11 years, I have been in mommy mode. And so all of my own dreams and goals have been kind of put on the back burner up until now. But I feel as though I'm entering a new season of my life. My littlest one is no longer a baby, as painful as it is for me to admit that, and even harder for me to accept that. She's no longer a baby. And I feel now that I can start gradually turning my attention a little bit more to doing the things that I love and the things that bring me a lot of joy, and just being able to invest more in my own personal and professional goals. And I promise that there's a reason why I'm sharing this with you. So now some of you are probably wondering why. Why now? What motivated me to start taking singing lessons? And again, as I told you, I've been wanting to do this for a little while now. I think it's a really good thing for teachers to continually study, to always upgrade their skills, not just as singing teachers, but also as students of voice, as singers. And to keep my professional skills always updated, I'm always reading from every source I can possibly read from, and I attend master classes and seminars and conventions and such, especially through the National Association of Teachers of Singing, of which I'm a member. But when it comes to working on my own voice, I've really just been kind of doing this on my own, as a lot of you are. And for those of you who have been doing this on your own for a while, I think you can understand a little bit about where I'm coming from, because I know that a lot of people email me, they contact me and they say, hey, I'm doing this entirely on my own, I can't afford lessons, whatever it might be, and I feel like I keep getting myself stuck. And so I wasn't exactly stuck, but I've been working on trying to develop a certain aspect of my technique, and there's a certain part of my range that I've been actively trying to figure out how to apply this technique to, and how to get the kinds of sounds that I want to make. And I can make certain sounds up there that are okay, but I want them to be more than okay. And so I sought out this teacher whom I've known for a few years now as a friend and a colleague. And so I decided that he was really the best person to help me take my singing to the next level. I felt as though I had taken myself so far, but probably as far as I could take myself. I mean, there would probably be continued progress, certainly from my end, but I wanted to be able to ensure that I don't get stuck at this plateau indefinitely. I wanted to make sure that I could get somebody to listen to my voice objectively and to put in his 2 cents, so to speak. So when I met with my teacher yesterday for the first time as a student instead of a colleague, and again, I've had many conversations with him over Skype, so I know him and I know how we connect, I was nervous, as most of you are when you first meet with a new singing teacher, and sometimes for a while thereafter. I was nervous because I didn't really know what to expect exactly. I didn't know, is my voice going to be worse than I think it is? And let me tell you, so I always thought my voice was kind of here, not here, but just kind of here, right? And he put me through a couple exercises that made me feel like my voice is down here. He said it was completely normal. He said I'm not as bad as I think. But they were completely new exercises for me, a completely new way of approaching those pitches. And so I was basically almost like starting from scratch. But that's why I hired this person. I hired him to basically teach me a completely different approach from what I had been using in that same portion of my range. I want to try a different approach that hopefully will be more effective and even more efficient at getting me to making the kinds of sounds on those pitches that I want to be making in the end. So that's why I think it's a really great idea, if you can do it, if you can make it happen, to take lessons from a teacher, and you're going to find that you're going to get new ideas and try new things. For example, in that hour that I spent with him yesterday, I was given new exercises that I'd never done before, And those are exercises that I can actually now pass along to my students. And it also got some other ideas sort of bubbling in my head for other ways in which I can help my students achieve their goals. So if what I've been doing maybe isn't the route that they need to take, I now have another tool in my tool belt to help my students. So I think it can really only be a good thing sometimes for us to have different qualified, that's the important thing, qualified opinions about how to train our voices. So from time to time, I think I'll update you on how things are going with my lessons. And with his permission, maybe I'll share a few clips from our Skype calls and show you what it is that I've been working on and how I'm working with that particular teacher. And it might give you some inspiration and some ideas as well in terms of your own training, and maybe it will inspire you or prompt you to want to start taking lessons with a singing teacher and just really taking your singing to the next level. I think that it's really important for us to have that accountability sometimes to somebody else and to have that weekly discipline of having somebody that we go to and are accountable to. We want to make sure that we're doing our homework, so to speak, in between the lessons. And I think that's going to be the best part of it for me in some ways, is that I'm going to be accountable to my teacher, and I'm going to make sure that if he assigns exercises to me, I am doing them. I'm doing them a few times a day, and I'm really putting in the time, and I'm trying to do it the way he's asking me to do it. It's really interesting for me now being on the other side of the keyboard for the first time in so long, and it was a little bit of a challenge for me to take off my teacher hat and put on a student hat. And my teacher and I don't always agree on everything, but I'm trusting him. I know that he teaches solid technique. I know he's not going to steer me wrong. He's not going to take me down the wrong path. So I am just having to learn to sort of let go and trust the process and trust him to take me in the right direction. And that direction is going to be a little bit different than the direction that I've been taking up to this point, working on my own and teaching myself. And I have to just trust that. I have to remember that I signed on for lessons with him because I want him to show me voice training in a new light. I want him to show me a different way of approaching things because that's how I'm going to grow. That's how I'm going to learn, and maybe, hopefully, that's how I'm going to find my voice. That's how I'm going to gain the skills that I've been wanting to gain and that I've been actively working toward gaining in the last few years. And I've made sure that I've scheduled those weekly lessons at a time when my kids are at their activities so that I can have the house to myself, so that I can really focus on me and on meeting my own personal and professional singing goals. This is going to make me into a better teacher. This is going to make me into a better singer. And this whole experience of starting to study voice again in a formal way is going to be such a learning and growing experience for me. It's going to be challenging at times, and it's going to, I'm sure, make me feel frustrated and discouraged at times, just as it does for any other singing student, just as it did for me many years ago, decades ago now. Wow, it's been that long. Anyway, so it's going to be really challenging, but it's going to be really fun. And I walked out of that lesson, well, I ended the Skype call, feeling really hopeful, feeling really excited and hopeful about how my singing is going to progress in the upcoming months and what I'm going to get out of these lessons. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. I wanted to feel this renewed energy and to feel really encouraged again about my voice and feeling as though now I'm actively doing something even more so than just working on it on my own. I'm taking another step toward achieving my personal goals. That is so encouraging and invigorating for me. Again, it's a new season of my life and I'm really excited to be starting into it. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm excited. So today I just wanted to tell you what I've been up to and to share with you my excitement about starting singing lessons for the first time in so long. And to encourage you also that if you're on the fence about taking singing lessons, just go for it. If you can make that happen financially, and in terms of your schedule, especially financially, if you can make that happen, just go for it. You're hopefully going to find that when you do that, your singing is going to go to the next level. It's going to be taken to the next level, probably more efficiently and effectively and hopefully safely than it would be maybe working on your own. It's not that you can't make progress on your own. I know a lot of singers who do, but oftentimes that progress is a little bit slower than it would be if you're working with somebody who's giving you real-time feedback, who's letting you know when you're doing something incorrectly so that you can correct it immediately rather than reinforcing bad behaviors, bad habits. Because we build our voices on muscle memory. So we want to have sometimes that objective feedback. Somebody has a really good critical ear and knows exactly how to diagnose and how to correct and to prescribe the correct corrective measures. So please consider taking lessons with somebody if you feel as though that's where you need to be. Wow, that is ice cream truck music. Wow, there's an ice cream truck outside right now in the middle of winter. It's 20 degrees outside. So the moral of the story here is, if you are considering taking singing lessons, if it's something that you've thought about here and there, you kind of go back and forth on the issue, really consider doing that. I feel like this is really, honestly, I feel like this is the first thing that I have done for myself in a very, very long time, in over a decade. And it's very exciting because in the end, I deserve this. I deserve this as much as the next person. I deserve to be doing the things that I love and to be doing them with excellence and to be investing some time and, yes, some money into doing this. And especially as a professional singing teacher, this is an investment into my career as well, because this is also training me as a singing teacher to approach singing from a different perspective. And there really can't be much bad coming out of that. So again, I'm really excited, and I hope that you'll consider investing into your own voice to whatever extent you can, whatever that looks like for you. It may not look the same for you as it does for me, but we deserve to do the things that we love. And if our heart's desire is to sing, then I think that we owe it to ourselves to pour everything that we have, that we can, into achieving our goals and doing the things that we love. All right, I will keep you posted. Take care.